What is going on, everybody? Man, oh man, I am excited for today's discussion, for today's talk. Let me just drop in the group real quick and say what's up, everybody. Let's get started. All right, guys, today's going to be an exciting topic that there is so many people out there who have this exact question. They ask this question and they wonder what the answer is, and today we are going to give you that exact answer. Give me 1 second. On these YouTube lives, you know how it goes. You have to prepare and you have to align and you have to check and you have to confirm. See, I don't even know right now if I'm live, but I guess I am. I should be because I can see it on my screen right here. I'm just hoping that everybody can see it. Now, before I begin, there's a settings bar, like a little settings circle on your screen as you're watching. Click that settings screen and make the quality go up to 720p. YouTube automatically makes it the lowest quality. We don't want the lowest quality. I invested money into this camera so I can give you the highest quality, and we don't want to give you the lowest quality. If everybody can hear me, everybody can see me, let me know in the comments right there. Just say, yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can see you. And we are about to dive into the topic today, which is, can you quit your full-time job and enter real estate investing full-time? Something that so many people want to know, something a lot of people are curious about, if they can quit their full-time job and enter real estate as a full-time game plan. And today, that's what we're going to discuss. Now, remember, I could tell you yes, and I could tell you no, and I can close off the topic, but I like to go into detail so you have a good understanding from all aspects, so you know exactly what to do whenever that decision comes to your mind. We see Najib, he says you are, so that means I'm live. That's good. We have Jacqueline, what's going on? Hope you're doing good. All right, so we got people joining us, people watching, and we are on track right now. So you might be watching this and you might want to quit your full-time job to go into real estate investing full-time. And in this video, like I said, we're going to discuss why you shouldn't do that or why you should do that. There's two answers to it, and we're going to go through it, and we're not going to take too much of your time, but we're going to go back and forth and talk to one another. If you have questions about this, make sure to put it in the comments right now. You know, maybe thoughts in your head that you're wondering, that you're confused about. If you have those questions in your mind, drop them right here and I'll answer them for you right away. Now, if you're new to the channel, remember on this channel, every single Tuesday and Thursday, I go live and we discuss the hottest topics in real estate at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe because we come at you weekly with the hottest topics. And if you're not new here, but you're joining us every single week and you still haven't subscribed, I don't know what to tell you. And most importantly, if you enjoyed this live stream, make sure you hit that like button. But for right now, let us dive right into the subject of, can you quit your full-time job and enter real estate investing full-time? Let's get into that. What do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. Do you think that you could do that? Do you think you can't do that? What are your thoughts on that right there? You know, there's a story that I'm going to share with you right now that bring this topic to my mind. This story is something that I just went through today, and I switched my entire live stream, which was happening today. I switched it because of this topic that came up. A person asked me this question, and we started to talk with one another, and that's the story I'm going to share with you on this live stream, and then we're going to get the answer out of that. We have Najib. He said nothing, so he doesn't have an answer. He doesn't know if he should or he shouldn't. All right. So what happened today is basically this. Can you guys hear me good? Let me get the mic a little closer to me. So what happened today was this. I went to the gym and I was working out, and I'm getting back into the gym, getting back into my rhythm. I injured my shoulder going too low on the bench press. So it's been around 3-4 months I've been out, and it's been hard to get back in, but I'm pushing it in and I'm going there every single day now. So I went to the gym, and I have a friend of mine over there who I saw. You know, I told him, what's up? How you doing? We started talking, and he said, hey, bro, can you spot me on the bench? So I went to go spot him. He had 2 plates on each side, quite heavy weight, and he wanted spotting. He was doing a couple of reps, and he didn't want to die, because a lot of times in the gym, if you try to look cool and do too heavy and it falls on your chest, you could just basically choke yourself out because the weight's too heavy and nobody's to help you. We have Shabnam who just joined. Hello, what's going on? Najib said, for sure, I already did, but not real estate investing. So Najib is saying he already quit his full-time job to enter real estate, but not the real estate investing as a realtor. We'll get into details on that as well. So continuing the story, I was spotting this guy on benching, my friend on bench press, and he finished that and he goes, thank you. And then he said, hey, how's everything going with you? How is real estate going? I was like, it's going good. I'm actually trying to open a business. And he looked at me weird and he said, you're in real estate. Why would you open a business? Why would you not just continue in what you're doing in real estate and continue investing? Now, that question that he asked was a great question. Why would I go and try to open a business if I'm in real estate and I'm investing in real estate and that is what I do? The answer to that, what I told him exactly was, real estate is a passive game. Okay? I'm not making money every single day from real estate if you think about it realistically. Real estate, you get your money back depending on what method you're doing. If you're flipping, wholesaling, if you're renting, whatever you're doing, you get your money back in a month, in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. It is not something that gives you cash flow every single day. Okay? You could say renting does $40 a day, $50 a day, but you get that money at the end of the month. Okay? So I answered him and I was like, I'm trying to open a business that can give me cash flow daily, and real estate's always going to be there, but it's a side thing. It is not something that I wake up every single day and I start running to, because remember, I'm a real estate investor, not a realtor. So I don't have clients, I don't have customers, I don't have showings I have to go do. I buy my property, I send out my team, and they do the job, and then I sell that property. I buy that property, I rent it out, I collect checks every month. That's what I do. So it's either or, depending what I'm trying to enter. Let me get to the questions real quick. We have Jacqueline saying, I'm just getting into real estate, but I plan to continue my other business at the same time. I love that, because that is golden right there. Very, very smart. She said, I think it depends what kind of business, like if they go hand in hand, it can help out a lot, I think. What do you think, Karam? I love that a lot. It's such a good thing to have a real estate investing side and then a business on the side as well. So those two things you can do at the same time. Now, if you have a business that complements real estate investing, for example, if you had a brokerage, if you're a realtor, you opened a brokerage firm, that can help you a lot in your real estate investing. So that's a good strategy to do. But I like that a lot because you don't want to stop your full-time job and enter real estate investing, because a lot of things are involved with it and you have to have a lot of capital for that if you want it to be a full-time job. Now, the guy that I was talking to in the gym, continuing the story again, he basically said, I see what you're saying. Like, he understood. I told him, I don't wake up every single day and go out and just start hunting for properties, right? There's only a certain amount of money that a person can possibly have. And a certain amount of money meaning that you can only buy a certain amount of properties out in the world. You can't just go and have unlimited funds and keep on purchasing properties, right? So if you're a real estate investor, let's say you have $100,000. You can buy one property with that, but what are you going to do after you buy that one property? If you go full time, you're going to go fix up that property. What do you do when you're finished fixing it? Let's say you want to sell it. You list it on the market, and to close it takes 1 month, and who knows how much longer it's going to take for the person to actually be interested to buy it. So let's give it 3 months to buy the property, fix it, and then sell it. For those 3 months, the question you want to ask is, what are you doing? Do you wake up at 5 a.m. ready to go out there and work on that property? No, because you already finished working on it. It's on the market listed now, and you're waiting for buyers to come look at it. So full-time real estate investing, it can be done, but it depends how you're approaching it and how you're getting into it. Right now, if I had, let's say, $50 million in my pocket, right? $50 million, I can go out and buy a bunch of properties. I can go out and do a bunch of deals. And yes, I can do real estate investing full time. $50 million can allow you to real estate invest full time. $10 million can allow you to do it as well. $5 million can allow you as well. But the lower you go, the harder it gets, because $5 million, I can go down the street and buy a commercial lot for $2 million, right? That $2 million is now tied. I can go and buy another commercial lot for another $1 million. I can buy a couple of lots. I can buy a couple of properties with that $5 million. But essentially, at the end, you run out. And when you run out, what is it that you're doing? Because You can only do so much when you have your commercial lots, your shopping centers rented out, you have your properties rented out. What is it that you're going to do after that? You're just going to go collect the checks, right? So you're not going to have something to do every single day. So me talking to this guy, I basically broke it down to him and told him that. He understood, and I told him that's why I'm opening a business, because real estate, I do it on the side. It is great. As I build my money, I invest more in it. I flip a house here and there if I want to. I rent a house here and there if I want to. All of that can be done with a full-time job. Me right now, I can have 10 properties and I can send out my crew to go repair these, the contractors to go fix them up, and I can show up every week just one time, check up on the job, do the payment, and then head out again. So I've built relationship with my contractors and my team to where I can just send them out and then I can do what I want to do. So essentially, if I have a full-time job, I can buy that house, I can send out my contractors and show up after my job is done, after my full-time job is done. So you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from on saying that you don't want to just quit your full-time job to enter real estate investing full-time, because it just sometimes won't make sense if you don't have that much money. A lot of times it won't make sense if you don't have that much money, because money is the key in real estate. And even if you're using banks, don't get it twisted. Even if you're using banks, you could use banks, but you need a down payment. And on a $200,000 property, a 20% down payment is how much? $40,000. All right. So you need $40,000 cash to do a down payment. After you buy 5 properties, that's 40,000 times 5. That's $200,000 cash you need to have to be able to buy those 5 properties, even if you're going through the banks. So you could see that you'll eventually run out of money if you try to go invest in full-time real estate. It's not going to be as easy as many people make it seem, or as many people want to make it seem. Does that make sense? We have Najib saying something came up. Karam, I will check this later. The topic sounds so good today. Jacqueline, and then he asked Jacqueline, what business are you in? Najib, no problem. You can just play it back on the playback to watch it, but I appreciate you jumping in. Jacqueline, Najib's asking you, what business are you in right now, or actually trying to enter? So that's what the point of this live stream right now is I want you all to understand that you can invest in real estate full time, but you gotta have a lot of money if you want to do that. And you can invest in real estate and have a full-time job, both at the same time. You don't have to quit your job to get into real estate. Now, this is not talking about becoming a realtor. That's a whole different thing. You can quit your job tomorrow and become a full-time realtor the next day. Okay, you can do that, but we're talking about real estate investing where you have $5 million and you want to start investing in real estate. $5 million is a good amount of money, but I'm talking if you have 100,000, 50,000, 150,000, you can't do full-time real estate investing because it's not going to be a safe bet for you, because eventually you're going to run out of money and you're going to be waking up not doing anything because all your properties are getting rented and there's not much to do in real estate anymore because you're out of cash. And how are you going to make that cash? You can't just wait on your rent all day. Shabnam says, what if you don't have the money to buy fixed stuff for your first deal, but don't have enough for down payment? Would it be acceptable to buy your first house building that's already cash flowing? Let me think of that. Hold up. What if you don't have the money to buy and fix the house for the first deal? You don't have enough money for the first deal or enough money for the down payment. Would it be acceptable to buy your first house building that's already cash flowing? See, I'm trying to understand this because you said that you don't have the money or the funds to buy this property or to fix the property. So how are you going to buy something that's already cash flowing? You see what I'm saying? Buying properties that are cash flowing is great, but you have to have the money to buy those cash flow properties, the down payment and so forth. So I might not be understanding your question right, or you might just have to rephrase it a little bit. So that's what I'm getting across to all of you right now, is that investing in real estate full-time is something you could do, but you need to have a lot of money for it. Investing in real estate on the side is something you should do, and you can do it as your full-time in your job. Now, for example, me, let's say right now I'm working a full-time job. Every single time I save $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000, I'm going to go buy a property. And then every time I save it again, I'm going to go buy another property. And I'm just going to keep on doing that. Eventually, by the time I'm in my late 30s, by the time I'm in my early 30s, by the time I'm in my late 20s, early 20s, whenever you start this, whatever age you reach to have all those investments, you're going to have 5, 10, 15, 20 properties under your belt. Imagine that portfolio where you have 10, 15, 20 properties and you're working a full-time job and all of those are being rented out. And every single one of those is cash flowing and bringing you in income, and you're paying off whatever you have to pay off from the people who are renting it from you. That is golden, and that is how real estate is. That's how the game is played. That's how the biggest people out there do it in this game, and that's what I'm bringing to your attention so you don't miss out on this. The earlier you enter real estate, the better. So the story that I basically spoke about my friend who asked me, why are you trying to open a business when you're already doing real estate? That is the answer. Is real estate is passive. You can make it full time. It doesn't have to be passive, but you have to have a lot of capital. Every single day you'll wake up, you'll be looking for deals. Every single day you wake up, you'll be developing homes, you'll be developing properties, developing commercial lots. That's something that's doable and so fun. But do you have the money is the question. Because if you don't, it's not going to be smart to make yourself quit the job that you have to enter real estate full time, because eventually you're going to wear out and have no money with you, and then you're going to look around and say, man, how am I going to get income? Because real estate's not going to be quick enough for you. Jacqueline says, hey, Najib, sorry I wasn't reading the messages. I have a tree service business. I had many agents/investors connect me for properties, and that's what got me interested in real estate/investing. Wow, I love that. So you have a tree service business. So you cut trees, you do landscaping, and by the way, on every single property I have, I do that. So if I basically call you to do that service for me, that's something that got you interested in real estate. So that's amazing. So Jacqueline has a tree service business where she goes to these properties and she landscapes them and she cuts the trees and she makes the exterior of the house beautiful, which is the most important part when you're trying to sell a house, that curb appeal. She ended up connecting with real estate and agents and investors, and that's what helped her get her feet into real estate and what made her interested in it. I love that. Shabnam says, in the sense, I don't have money to fix my first deal, but have enough money. Oh, okay. So Shabnam saying that they have enough money to put the down payment for the property, but they don't have enough money for the rehab, the fix of the property. That's a good question. So let's say this is me right now. I'm in the same situation for you like you are. For example, just let's play that story. I have $30,000 and I can get this property. I can put a down payment of $30,000. Now, when I get that property, I don't have enough money to fix up that property, to put tenants in it so it can cash flow for me. Right? So would I do that investment? No, I wouldn't do it. I would go and I would save up money, save another 10, 15, 20,000, however much the repairs are. And if that deal gets taken away, there's deals everywhere. You just have to be aggressive and looking. So I wouldn't buy the property because I don't want to get stuck. You want to always make sure that when you buy a property, you also have money in your pocket in case anything doesn't go the way you want it to go. Does that make sense? So if you buy a property, you put $30,000 down and you have you don't have a single dollar after that, that's not safe. Because if you don't get it rented the time you thought, you got to pay your taxes, you got to pay your insurance, you got to pay repairs like you were talking about. So you have a lot that you have to pay for. Then you have to pay your mortgage every month, and the banks are not going to wait for you to pay it. If you don't pay it, you're going to get your notice and you're going to get foreclosed and the house will be taken away from you. So be safe, Shabnam, and do not buy that property if you only have enough for the down payment. Try to get more of the money first before you go into that investment. See if there's people who are willing to invest some with you. See if you can find some people to outsource that money. But if you can't, don't put all your money in that property because it might backfire on you. It's not safe. All right, so just a retrace over what we're talking about, guys. We're basically speaking about, can you quit your full-time job to enter real estate investing full-time? The answer to that, in simple words, is no and is yes. And we went over that right now of why I say no and yes. No, if you don't have a lot of capital, in the millions, not in the you can have $600,000. It's still not enough to go full-time real estate investing. you have to have in the millions to go full-time real estate investing, because you can only buy up so many properties, right? Now, if you have $1 million, let's say you can buy 5 properties. Each property is 200,000. So 5 times 2, that's $1 million, right? So you have 5 properties. Each one costs 200,000. You can still do 5 properties and a full-time job. If you have the crew and you have the team and you have somebody who's kind of overlooking them as you're at your job. It's going to get a bit tough, but it's not going to be smart to quit your job and go full-time real estate investing with $1 million. It's not going to cut it, and you can do a lot with your time as you're waiting on those properties to be sold. You know, one time I had a couple of properties I had on the market for sale, and it was basically all the properties got finished at one time. And I had those properties all on the market, and it was literally all the properties were under contract, but when you're under contract selling it, you still have to wait the month. So in that month, the question is, what do I do? What do you do if you're out of money? For me, I was focusing on other things as well, but I'm talking to you right now. What if you went full-time real estate investing and that happened to you? What is it that you're going to do throughout that month? What is something that's going to bring you income as well is the question. So that is what we got going. Ultimately, it's not a thing that you are going to wake up every single day doing when you real estate invest, because once you make the investment and you fix that investment, it's done. You're waiting on the sale. Or once you do that investment and you fix that investment, it's renting and you're done with that, right? So you want to keep your full-time job until you're making enough income from real estate that you can quit your full-time job and then focus full-time on real estate. But you don't want to quit it before you have yourself situated in the real estate game. We have James saying, this is a great topic, great advice for all of us that are wanting to start. James, I'm glad that you think that, man. It's a question I get a lot, a question that was brought up today to me in the gym. So I said I have to make a live video about this to discuss with you all and talk about how you don't want to take that risk if you're not situated yet with your money or with your, basically the money that you have in your life, right? The capital that you have, because if you don't have enough, it's not going to be a smart move to make. And you want to be careful, because if you quit that job that you've been having for a couple of years and you go full-time real estate investing and that doesn't go well, you got to now go back, and sometimes you might have to start over, and you don't want to do that. We have Shabnam saying, I don't understand what the refinance step is. Can you explain it? Refinancing is essentially this. You have a house for $100,000 and you got that house at $80,000. The bank gave you the property at $80,000 because you found yourself a good deal. Now you're going to go refinance that property. The bank is going to give you the $20,000 difference. So you bought the house at $80,000. It's worth $100,000. So when you refinance it, you'll be able to get that equity in the middle. Or there's a whole different situation. Look at this. Let me bring it to you in an easier way. You have a house for $100,000. And you want to get it refinanced because you want to pull out the equity that's in it. You want to pull out the amount of money you have in it. So you're going to refinance the property, and that property you're going to go through a different bank, okay? Or the same bank, either or. Let's stay with the same bank so it doesn't make it complicated. You're with the bank right now. You go to the bank and you say, hey, I want to refinance my property. When you go to the bank and you tell them that, they're going to say, okay, you can pull out the equity of the property. You start over a brand new mortgage. You change up the rates on whatever they're charging you at, and you take in that money that you already had in the property. But you start with zero equity once again. So you're not going to have any money in the house. You're going to have to rebuild once again. So if you have a property that has $20,000 in equity, when you refinance it, you can pull that $20,000 out of that property. Does it make sense? And then Shabnam says, is it legal? Yeah, of course it's legal. The banks are the ones who do it with you, and the banks are all under the government rules and regulations, and they can't do anything illegal. So when you refinance, it's a legal step that you can do. We have Idris saying, hey, again, I'm wondering if you're ever thinking about doing commercial deals at some point. Again, I am 19 years old. I am a 19-year-old realtor licensed in Virginia, DC, and Maryland, focus on residential transactions. So Idris is saying, I'm wondering if you're ever thinking about doing commercial deals. To answer that question, I'm actually doing commercial deals right now. I don't only do residential, I do commercial as well. I'm working on a couple commercial deals as we speak, developing them, building them, and trying to close deals with them as well. So I do commercial, I do residential, so I have knowledge from here and from there. So if you have questions about commercial, you can also ask me that, and we can go from there. 19-year-old realtor hustler. I love that. Very nice. Shabnam, did you get the answer on refinancing? It's legal. You can do it. And you just tell your bank that you want to refinance, and they'll basically take out whatever equity you have in the property, and then you'll have a whole new mortgage set up. Idris said, what type of commercial? Multifamily? No, not multifamily. I do shopping centers and land that you'll see like on the side of a highway, for example. So more of shopping centers, developing them, and so forth. So that is what it is. There's like something on my eye. But multifamily is also something good. You know, once you get over a certain amount of units, they consider it a multifamily commercial unit. It doesn't become residential anymore, even if people live in it, by the way. So that's a good point. All right, guys, we've been on this live stream for about 25 minutes. The topic was, can you quit your full-time job to enter real estate investing full-time? The answer was a lot more detailed than a yes or no. I hope that it helped you. I hope that the discussion that we just had allowed you to feel out if you should do the quitting or if you shouldn't. And I want to make sure that before you make any steps that you protect yourself in all ways. You don't take risks that you can't handle. And remember, the point of these live streams is to help you in real estate from A to Z. Any question you have in real estate, the goal is to have these videos help you. I created a playlist, so all the videos are in order. Anytime you have a question, go in that playlist and see if your answer's there. If it's not, it's as simple as sending me a message, giving me a comment, following me on Instagram at Karam Khalil, which is my name, like this on YouTube. Send me a message and say, hey, can you please talk about this topic? And I'll make an entire video just for you so you can get your answer for that. Shabnam said, yep, I got a lot. Thanks. That's great. Again, good stuff. Thanks so much for your explanation. Anytime. Thank you so much for joining. As always, Shabnam, you always got these amazing questions. Good luck to you in your real estate investing. And any question you have, make sure if you're confused or don't know it, shoot me a message, especially on Instagram. I'm very quick to reply, and I'll answer it for you because we don't want to make any mistakes. And mistakes that I made, I want to make sure you guys don't make it as well. Jacqueline, anytime, no problem. I'm glad to have you all. We discussed today real estate investing and should you go in it full time. If you can do it and you have a lot of capital, go for it. If you don't have too much capital, stick with your full-time job, invest in real estate in the side, and that's how you're going to win long term. Don't rush things. Be smart. Be strategical in your moves, and I promise at the end you will win. Last question we have is Idris saying, I'm trying to figure out how to add that part to my business while also getting plenty of deal flow in residential. I've heard that it's important to develop the reputation first before going into it. That's true 100%. So if you're a realtor and you're doing residential and you want to get into commercial, those are two different industries, okay? Two different industries. You can be full-time commercial realtor, full-time residential realtor. I know a realtor who I tried to put on a commercial deal for me and was only focused on residential, couldn't help me at all because they were clueless on commercial. So I had to go out and reach out to someone who was dedicated to only commercial because they've been in it for years, and commercial is different than residential. So if you want to get into commercial, establish yourself in residential, tag along with people in commercial, learn it before you get into it, and then you can start building up your reputation. But don't jump right into it because people will not do deals with you in commercial, especially if they smell or see that you're a rookie from the start, because these people who do commercial are big time people. They want to make sure they get the right person on their team, the right person on their side, and they don't have time to deal with people who are rookies. So what you need to do is make sure you're prepared so you don't look like a rookie, so you can lock in these deals. So put the learning into that, put the time into learning it, and before you say, hey, I'm a commercial realtor, make sure you know the game, especially in your area. James, no problem, brother. Jacqueline, no problem. And thank you all once again for tuning in these live streams, for always joining, for always talking, for always commenting. I love it. I love you guys. I appreciate your time as always, and I hope that these live streams are benefiting you for real estate. And every single time I end a live stream, I want you all to know that I want to see all of you dominating in real estate. I want to be there with you when you're closing your first deal, your second deal, your third deal, and I want to be a part of that journey that you're taking in real estate. And I promise you, it is a lucrative, a beautiful journey to take because it can make you a lot of money if you do it correctly. And more than likely, you're doing it correctly because you're joining, putting the time for these live streams to learn it and to not make those mistakes that others have made. For example, the mistakes that I've made, that I'm hopefully letting you guys not make. And then he said, what is the one key difference in commercial versus residential in terms of the way you operate your business? Residential is homes, commercial is business. Residential is for people who are basically looking to rent out properties, to live in these properties. It's more of a one-to-one interaction. Commercial, it's more of you're dealing with everybody out there. I mean, you're dealing with banks, you're dealing with grocery stores, you're dealing with gas stations, you're dealing with investors, you're dealing with purchasers, basically not just investors, but people from overseas who are trying to invest here. Commercial is you're dealing with everyone and everyone's coming at you because if you have a good property, people will bid on it, people will call you, brokers will knock on your doors. Commercial is a different game than real estate. Residential is more, I would say, passive compared to commercial. Commercial is very aggressive if you want to get into sales for commercial lots, because as soon as that sign is up that someone's interested in selling their commercial land, you better be ready and you better be quick and you better know what you're talking about, because these people who are selling these lots, these lands for commercial they are very aggressive and very smart. So the key difference I would say is that right there is commercial sales is a lot more complicated than residential because the people that you're dealing with are completely different. Okay, so I hope that answers the question for you. Basically, that's what the answer is for that, Idris. I have to get going. So if you have any questions, like I said, follow me on Instagram. Send me a message. I'll answer it for you. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you stopping by. And once again, we'll see you all in the next live stream on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. For right now, I'm out.